Hi there.
The game. Hi guys.
Cool.
You want me to start?
Can anybody else hear? Go ahead.
Okay.
There
Well,
you go.
we know that it's hard to win ACC games. We'll take everyone that we can possibly get. We knew that keeping them off the glass and keeping them off the free throw line were two things that, they're top 20 in both of those categories in the country. We did that. I thought we did a good job of that. Obviously, only 8 offensive rebounds and only 4 free throw attempts. It was a hard game to get in any sort of rhythm. There were a lot of fouls called. There were a lot of fouls not called. There was a lot of kind of choppy play. And so, good teams have to win ugly. And I just told them in here, we haven't won ugly very much. And so had they won ugly a lot, I might be a little madder. But I'll chalk this one up as one of those kind of win ugly and get ready for the next one.
How do you explain when they pulled within 7? What were they doing so well?
Pitt, they're relentless. I mean, they score more points in the second half on the year than they have in the first. I mean, they're relentless. They never stop. The basket gets bigger when you have less pressure. They were pushing it down our throats, and we were sort of still reeling a little bit from things we didn't want. So it's a relentless basketball team, and we at times weren't able to meet that.
Can you talk about Eva's energy off the bench? I mean, all season, but tonight she had 2 3-pointers in the first minute or so. I think she had 9 points in 11 minutes in the first half or something like that.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the energy she brings off the bench?
Yeah, Eva brings energy. She brings voice. She brings a competitiveness, and she really brings a collaboration. She collaborates our group, and she's kind of the glue of that. And so coming off the bench, it lets me put her in at any variety of positions and at any variety of times, and she can roll with that. Her experience, and she's just a talented competitor. So I said it at the Notre Dame game, and I say it all the time. I don't like where we'd be without Eva. And so we needed her tonight. And we needed Liz. We need both of them to have the toughness that they showed.
But her adjusting to coming off the bench this season after obviously starting every season before this, she seems to have made that adjustment very well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's hard to come off the bench. Not. I think some people think because maybe of the ego involved, but what's hard to come off the bench is that everybody else is warmed up and you're not, right? And so I think Eva is one of our more complete players. And so she can do that because she doesn't need to kind of settle into the rhythm of the game. She can go into, she's the only one that hasn't played, and everybody else, all other 9 have, and play with the ball in her hands as a shooter, as a facilitator, as a defender. And so really it's a testament to how good she is, actually, that she can do that role so well. And it makes us better because I think some other guys might benefit from starting the game and getting in the flow with everybody else. And she doesn't need to do that.
Thanks.
During the press conference. Do we have other questions?
Yes, I have some questions. Hey, Coach. So you mentioned the fouls called on your team today. It was a pretty scrappy game. So to what extent did that bother your players, if it bothered them at all?
Yeah, I think that the fact that the game was choppy. I think there were, the whistle did blow a bunch, and it also didn't blow, to be honest, a bunch. And so it's hard to get in any sort of rhythm when you don't really know what's going to be called, what's allowed, what's not, any given game. And usually you can kind of settle into that rhythm. This was a tough one to settle into. And so it was choppy. And I think our team's really fluid. And we like the fluidity of the game over 94 feet. And when it's choppy, we can't get into that as often. So they forced us to win ugly. And I'm really proud of our guys that they did that.
And can you describe like the adjustments you made at halftime, or what you told your team to kind of get the team into the rhythm that they've shown all season in the third quarter?
Yeah, I think what we try to do at halftime is talk about how connected we have been to the game plan and any adjustments that we've seen based on what's happening. So it's pretty tactical. Again, this group, I let Eva and our teammates sort of manage the inspirational part of our team, and I'm sort of tactical in that way. But we knew that this was going to be a team that scores more in the second half than the first. So we knew they were going to throw some punches, and they were going to come up and guard over 94 feet and all that. So it wasn't an issue of being ready. It was more an issue of the choppiness of the game.
We have one more for Coach Banghart, and then we'll go to players.
I want to ask about you had extended minutes with none of the 3 centers out there and a really small lineup. What was the thinking there?
We wanted to switch all the screens. They were hurting us in the middle of the floor on ball screens. And they were playing small. So it allowed us to play small. And so we wanted to keep bodies in front of the ball that way. And also that would allow the rebounding also to be more in place instead of having to rebound out of rotation.
Thanks.
Michael, I'm here for you. What do you need?
Thanks, Coach. I don't know how big of a stats and standings person you are, but have you sort of let your team know how big the game in Blacksburg is going to be this weekend, just depending on how things turn out later tonight?
Yeah, we feel like it's a separation for sure. I mean, we're all still fighting for that that double bye in the ACC tournament. And then we're also fighting for the best possible seed in the NCAA tournament. So that's why we just have to keep stacking wins. If you beat Virginia Tech, but you lose to Pitt, it's a wash, right? So it's just one win at a time, and every win is really important, especially because we're in the mids. So our strength of schedule is really difficult this year. And we know that. So, yeah, we feel like they know they know they have a great opportunity, because when you're playing someone who you're fighting with, it obviously it compounds the result. But we'll look forward to regrouping very quickly. We kind of needed this. We've been a little bit, things have been a little bit easier, even though our guys have been really a reason for that. Things have happened a little bit easier for them over the last couple of weeks, and it was good to get a little adversity, and I think that will kind of be good for this group as we kind of move our preparation out of Virginia Tech.
Thank you.
Of course. I'm going to give you guys Eva first. She's oldest.
Yes. Age triumphs.
Oh, sorry. She wants Deja first.
Oh,
Sorry.
man, I'm too old for this.
Hey, Deja.
That's what I said. Why? Hey.
Thanks. Let's have a few thoughts from you on the game, please, and then we'll take questions.
Yeah, I would say a win is a win. It got a little sloppy at times and really scrappy, but I think it was just two tough teams going against each other, and obviously we won that battle. So.
Deja, could you talk about the energy that Eva brings off the bench? I mean, she came out today and had like 2 3-pointers in the first minute and put up a bunch of points. And just what she brings off the bench for you all. Is she one of the most emotional leaders as well?
Yeah, she brings a huge spark off the bench. There's not a decline whenever she comes in. She carries over to whatever energy that first five brings. And usually like Coach said, you come off the bench, you're not warm like the other first five, but she comes in and plays like she had just started the game, and coming in and knocking down a couple threes for us, that's huge. And just be able to get us going from her is really good. And she's a leader as well. She uses her voice really well. And we listen. So Eva's a really, really big spark for us.
What helped you guys kind of get through the choppiness of this game? It really was an odd game. How were you able to get through that sort of game?
I think we just stayed together. There's some ugly games, and it happens, but us just staying together, I think, got us through it. We knew that it was going to be an aggressive physical game. They were going to be scrappy. They're looking to play us full court, which we were expecting. So I think just us playing together, moving the ball better. I think we did better with it in the second half, just to get through their scrappiness. But I think we played well against it.
Thanks.
Hey, Deja, can you talk? Yeah, can you talk about that assist to Eva with just under 5 minutes to go left in the game? How important was that shot, considering the momentum was swinging Pitt's way at that time?
It was huge. I saw her open on the right wing, so I was like, she's gonna knock it down. Usually every time I pass it to her, I know she's gonna hit that three. So that was exciting, and that definitely was a game changer for us. They were starting to chip away a little bit, and I think with her hitting that three, then that just gave us some momentum, and I think that kind of put the game away pretty much. So, yeah.
Any other questions for Deja? Thank you. You're good.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Great job. Now it's Grandma's turn.
Hey, Eva, how about a few quick thoughts on the game, and then we'll take questions.
Quick thoughts. A W is a W, win is a win, but definitely ugly and a little scrappy. But Coach kind of said it earlier, that was needed for us because the last 2 games have been relative blowouts, both 50 and a 20-point. And so kind of just getting back into the routine of playing against physical teams, playing in a closer game, I think will prepare us well for both Virginia Tech, Louisville, whoever's next.
Hey, Eva, congratulations on the game. I want to ask about adjusting to coming off the bench this season after obviously starting at William and Mary.
Hmm.
How hard is that, and mentally and physically, and than the previous seasons?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I'm kind of used to starting right off the bat, but it's a mentality that my parents kind of engraved in us at a young age. You contribute in any ways possible, and so whether that means I come off the bench, if I was needed to be a cheerleader on the bench, that's what I would be. Kind of whatever I'm needed to do, I'm going to do. And it allows me to be my teammates' hype man. I love getting hype for them when they make shots or good plays or anything like that. And so it allows me to come in and be a little bit of a spark and just bring in energy. So I love it.
And you seem to bring a lot of different things, like hitting the boards, like not some guards don't do,
Mhm.
and intensity on defense. And then I noticed that one play after you turned it over, you were wrestling with that Pittsburgh player for the ball, like you were a wrestler trying to pin somebody. Can you talk
Yeah.
about that play and just your intensity level?
Yeah, the minute the ball left my hands, I was like, Eva, because I knew she read my eyes. And so I was like, there's no way that she's getting a steal on me. If anything, it's going to be a jump ball. And that's kind of my mentality. I mean, I think I had a turnover or something on the other end, and then I go take a charge. So if I'm messing up on one end, I'm going to get it back on the other end. And that's just kind of how I'm wired.
Where does this intensity come from? Have you always been this intense on both ends of the court?
Yes, I'm one of 7 kids, and so I have 4 older brothers, so I think that contributes a little bit. And then a younger brother and a sister, so there's both like the competitive side that I have with all my older brothers, but then also the lifting and like motherly side for my younger siblings. So I would say it's been since birth. My parents would say that too, I think.
And specifically that 3-pointer you made in the second half, talk about that one and how big that was for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, coach has been telling me every single game, practice, shoot the ball, shoot the ball, shoot the ball. And so when I hit 2 relatively early in the first half, I was like, all right, feeling good. And then I kind of take them as they come in the game. And that one, I was wide open and I was like, all right, this is just shoot it like you shoot it. And I did. And it was big time. It was a needed 3 that we kind of needed to separate ourselves. So I'm glad it went in.
Thanks.
Anybody else have any questions for Eva?
I have one. Kind of just going back on that 3-pointer that you made in the second half. What do you feel prepares you for big moments like that and games like this where your team needs you to just step up and kind of carry the team a little bit tonight?
Yeah. I mean, conversation with my coaches and like we've been talking about, just this mentality of I'm going to come in and I'm going to do whatever's necessary. And I've lately with some of my assistants been working on like, how do you come off the bench and hit a shot right away? And coach had kind of said it earlier, like you're sitting on the bench for like 5 minutes, like you kind of get cold from shoot around or warm ups or whatever. And so being able to just come off the bench and make something. And so I've been actually working on that, which I'm glad it showed tonight because it was very needed. But yeah, just coming in and providing what my team needs me to do.
Eva, you're a junior athletically, so you're eligible to come back next season. Has there been any indication either way where you might go with that?
Oh yeah, I'm staying. You guys are stuck
figured.
with me. Yeah, y'all are stuck with me. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not really sorry because I'm excited.
All right. Good deal. Thanks.
All right. Anything else? Thanks, Eva.
Awesome.
Get it.